All right, welcome back to Doctales with Cocktails, the Festive Cross-Border Edition, because the beginning of July is both Canada Day, which is July 1st, and Independence Day. Let's say what it is. It's actually not. It's not July 4th. It's Independence Day.
Correct.
Bugger off, Britain. You snaggle-toothed, weirdo, inbred horse faces.
I don't know. Are you telling me about? That's just on
Look
my
at
people.
the king. Look at the king.
I know.
He's a snaggle-toothed horse face, inbred, blue blood.
It's like this interim crap we have to deal with between the queen and our next good king that's going to come along. But my family's all British.
You get a bald king. I hope he goes full Rogan once he's king. Like, just shaves it all off. That'd be so rad.
I'd make his nose stick out more, like a total bird, like an eagle.
Yes.
Anyway, my family's British, so I take offense to making fun of the British monarchy. But I dug this. Look at this flag. I was going through my treasure chest of childhood memories, and I don't even know where I got this thing from. But it's been in there a while. We could hang it up in front of our house in our neighborhood. What do you think?
Yeah, we could. We could. The commie red maple leaf.
Stop, I do.
Welcome to communism.
Waiting for him to say that. Okay, and then I had to wear my only red piece of clothing that I own, because I think you bought me this wonderful Canada. I don't know. Where's yours?
I don't know. The one I got, the singlet I got was kind of gross. This shirt, this is actually has the Declaration of Independence on it.
I know, that's a pretty sweet shirt, better. I must say. I don't have any Americana. I just don't. So I'm representing Canada for the week, and of course, this weekend is the big, massive 250. We have to tell everybody about, before we get to the stupid stories, my own stupid story about that. So we own...
Oh, yeah, this is pretty bad.
We own a timeshare in D.C., and our week is the week of July 4th, and we always talk about going there. And every
year, could have gone for free.
Every year we say, no, well, let's...
To the 250th, for free.
We could have. However, last year when I said, are we going to just use this timeshare points, or are we going to just go during that week? And you said...
We weren't thinking.
Nothing. So it's on both of us. So
yeah, but mostly you.
So I forfeited those points. And then we were talking with some friends this weekend who said, wouldn't it be cool to be in D.C. for the 250th? And I'm like, we could have. But now we're not.
But instead we're stuck with Oh Canada. I think we should sing it like the voice of the guy. I forget his name, but the guy that sings.
You want to sing, don't you?
He's the big country. Oh Canada, we kill you when you're sick, and we think Donald Trump's a prick. We haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1993.
Give me this.
We drink a lot because we're a bunch of commies. Yeah, and if you go to Tim Hortons, the most Canadian thing in the world, you will be served by someone who speaks exactly zero English.
No kidding. Totally truth.
Did you want a double-double?
You drove me to drink. This is our cocktail of the week's right here, and I'm pouring myself a red Solo cup.
You don't even know where the lid is. This is...
yeah, I'm getting all my lids.
This stuff is great. The blue ice from the beautiful state of Idaho. And they have their 250th commemorative. I should go buy a couple more of these because these are actually pretty cool.
It is.
The bottles.
It's gluten-free, which is even better.
Yeah, because it's
potato vodka, which I like.
How much gluten do you actually think is in wheat vodka? Like, honest to God,
not very much. Not very much.
It all gets denatured.
Yes, it gets broken down, denatured, blown off. However, this is a very beautiful bottle. And it's got the Celebrate inside. I love it. Anyway.
So we're going to do
what are we gonna do?
3-ish stories. One is, the first one is stinky. The second one is mind-blowing. And the third one is all about what happens in ERs during July the 4th.
We have done shows on that before, but I think that'll be fun.
The busiest ER day of the year.
Yes, that was a trivia
A
question.
whopping 21% increase in ER visits during July 4th.
Yeah,
and actually, what kills people will surprise you.
That was a question at trivia, I think, that you missed.
Yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah, like it's not...
Because I'm like, we were during that
Well, no, but
time,
we'll discuss that from a medical perspective, because it really is fascinating. Because you think, well, there's a lot of the country that's pretty cold and icy and whatnot, in New Year's, Christmas time. That's not what kills people, folks.
Correct.
That's not what kills people. Shoveling snow kills a few people, but not very many.
Okay, so it was Tim's birthday yesterday. We had a great weekend doing some fun things with friends. What happens in Key West stays in Key West. That's the tropical Vegas, I think. And while we were there, oh boy, did we encounter a really horrific
natural event.
That's what I'm going to say.
So there is so we went to they're doing some maintenance on the end of the road where the most southern point in the United States marker is. So they moved it like a block or two.
Yeah.
Maybe
people don't know there's a most southern point of the United States marker.
Yeah, the most southern point in the contiguous United States is in Key West.
Oh yeah.
The most southern point in the United States is in Hawaii, just a little ways out of Kona. What is it, Cook Point or something like that. But anyways.
Oh, you didn't probably give Kevin a photo of all of us hovered around the.
No, I didn't. That I didn't do.
Yeah.
But the thing that's interesting is there is this weed, and it has a most unusual name. It is called, and I shit you not, it is called Sargassum. And it is spelled Sargassum. Like Sarge ass
No, it's
Sargassum.
No, actually, it's pronounced Sargassum, and he will tell you why.
Yes, because I never fake a Sargassum. Yes, it is. It's
sarcasm.
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable because this stuff is super important, and it comes almost all the way from Africa, and it blows across the Atlantic Ocean through the way it's got its name, through the Sea of Sargasso, which is a North Atlantic current that turns in the middle of almost from Africa all the way to the United States, and it has these floating islands of this algae-like weed, and what it does is it's like it's an ecosystem for like turtles and fish and little fish and all this, so it's very, very important. And you're out on a boat and it's floating around, it does not smell. When it hits the shore and starts to decompose, it smells like if somebody ate 18 semi-rotten eggs with 12 beers, followed by a couple espressos, and then we're in a car with no air conditioning.
Oh, I was gonna say,
and a
baby's diaper landed on shore with all of it.
It is the assiest stink when it rolls up on shore, there's like mountains of this, and then the waves themselves just look like diarrhea, and it basically smells like that. Yeah. Like it is awful.
It's so
there was parts where you could not. Like you couldn't go to places in Key West because it's like you would just like our friend was gagging her brains out.
Yeah, so we showed up because the beach there where the I was going to say sign, the marker, the tourist trap is, it's just like bombarding the beach, and it's just like this big pile of looks like it's basically seaweed. And it stunk so bad on that south end of Duval Street. Like I was holding my breath. She was gagging. All these people are like, it's super disgusting. But I smelt it, remember, the night before, because we were way down at the other end in our
the wind blows right
hotel. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I think the smell, it woke me up, and I'm like, there is a leak, or there's a plumbing leak, or there's garbage right below us, because it stunk so bad. I wanted to blame you, but you've never had anything like that emitted from your body. I'm like, no, that is not Tim. I thought something was coming up through our toilet, like the anaconda or a the shower. It reeked so bad, and right outside the door it didn't seem to smell. Anyway, it stunk so bad it woke me up. And the next day, yeah, when we smelled that, it's disgusting. And yeah,
and it's there for what, like 2 months before it decomposes?
It's been there for a month already. I talked to a shopkeeper. She said, yeah, it's really, the tourists hate it, but it is what it is. And I think it's usually a month, 6 weeks, and then it's gone. But it's much worse than, what is that African dust? The Saharan, Saharan dust that blows over. Give me some dust any day over that crap.
Oh yeah, no, that was really, the Saharan dust is pretty amazing though.
Yeah.
That it comes all the way.
It's like magic gold dust.
It's not magic gold dust.
So we got to experience sargassum, and it is very horrific.
Yes, it is.
I never had heard of it before. The things you find out on your travels. Lots of fun things. We got to visit Hemingway House again and revisit the history of polydactyly with cats, as well as yellow fever.
There's 59 cats that live on that.
It was yellow fever, right?
Yeah, there's 59 cats that live on that property, and it's what, like maybe an acre? And I was thinking, the people that work there, how many of them have toxoplasmosis? Because you remember that crazy cat?
They're probably immune.
Yeah, but you remember the crazy Catwoman story about how there's a genre of toxoplasmosis that crosses the blood-brain barrier and makes people nuts. So you're actually not batshit crazy. You're cat shit crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
a real thing. And I'm like, well, maybe the mental illness that Ernest Hemingway had was toxoplasmosis, and not just drinking too much at Sloppy Joe's.
I thought they all had like a family genetic disorder that was causing.
Well, they did, but who knows what it was? And maybe
it's just toxo.
Maybe it's just too many freaking polydactyl
There was
cats.
a lot of suicides in that family, right? I noticed, as well as talked about smells. I mean, when you have 59 cats living on less than an acre of property, then the cat urine smell is like at about this level. It was pretty disgusting. I did not see a litter box for cat poop though, so I don't know where they're going because there's not.
Well, I think they go in the shavings around the trees, and the workers pick up the.
So the workers probably have toxins.
That's what I'm saying. The workers.
Yeah. I was thinking of the tour guides, but the workers. Oh, maybe they were hazmats.
I don't know. I don't know because cats. Like we've had cats. Cats are great, but like I don't know about 59. That's a lot of cats. So I came across the next story. I came across this amazing story, which blew my mind. And let me open it up here. Okay.
Well,
it goes like this.
We've been talking about this before. We talked about this, a couple years ago with a friend.
We talked about, we talked about what we're getting to, but we didn't talk about this story because this is a brand new story. Patients are experiencing dramatic reductions in severe drug cravings following treatments using focused sound waves, low-intensity focused ultrasound, or LIFT-U, to reset the brain's reward centers. The Israeli breakthrough. Physicians at Rambam Health Center. What a great name. Rambam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, David Bowie liked it.
Where is this?
In Haifa, Israel, used focused sound wave technology to treat an opioid-dependent patient. In a procedure lasting just 20 minutes, they directed ultrasonic waves at the patient's brain's reward center. The patient, who had been taking approximately 130 painkiller pills a day, reported his cravings dropped to zero, was entirely free of opioids a week later. So who knows how long it lasts, but it clearly worked.
130?
Yeah, like this is opioids. This isn't somebody drinking like 16 beers where, you get the shakes and whatever, and you can kind of titrate them off, and then they feel way better like after their detox. Oh, this is great. Like opioids are the most
That's not
profound.
130 milligrams.
130 pills. So like multiples of like massive morphine equivalents. And opioids are the worst for withdrawal symptoms, like physical withdrawal, like where you get the chicken skin and the nausea and the vomiting and all of that stuff. And his cravings went to zero. What I'd like to know is, did he still have physical withdrawal symptoms but no cravings?
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. It's 130.
130 a day.
They must be giving them like, what, low dose? I mean, come on. And that's like more than 4 times a day. How on earth? You just be...
130 painkiller pills a day. A day. So the ultrasound waves, they focused ultrasound on its like nucleus accumbens or whatever, the pleasure center in your brain.
Okay, and did you say that it was low dose ultrasound?
Low dose lithium, low dose intensity focused ultrasound or something like that.
So that's important.
What was it? Low intensity focused ultrasound. That's the key. Low intensity.
Yes.
So then it got me thinking.
I would like to know what the definition of low intensity.
Yeah, well, I would like to know the definition of between low and like high intensity.
Yes.
So then it got me thinking, and I was like, if low dose intense ultrasound focused in one area can change someone's brain that dramatically in 20 minutes. Like in less time than this show, this guy went from 130 painkillers to 0.
And that's a big brain in this adult's head.
Right? Like through the skull, the whole deal. What in the wide world of sports is going on with prenatal ultrasound? Because if you think about vaccines, okay, and it's like, well, after 1986 Childhood Vaccine Act, vaccines, the number of vaccines went through the roof. And then kind of starting at that same time, like the early 90s, because that was 1986. The early 90s, as vaccines went up, autism started to hockey stick and go up, 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 up. Well, there was another thing that you can correlate to this, was the routine use of ultrasound in about 11 to 14 weeks of pregnancy, and then again at 20 to 22 weeks to do a fetal, anatomic survey and make sure that your kid is normal, has a normal heart, et cetera, not Downs, because you can see a lot of Downs features on ultrasound. And I'm like, well, that became routine basically at exactly the same time vaccines started to ramp up. And if you can do neurocognitive changes with focused ultrasound, what happens when you have a vaginal probe literally sitting on a fetus a little bit bigger than a grain of rice?
Correct.
And you're like Bakey von Bakerson, their little entire fetal body.
Of course, we talked about this, and then if I had to look up to see, are there studies? Because I'm like, there's have to be studies on the safety of ultrasounds.
Canada.
And what study did you find? Please tell us.
Do you want me to find the study that I found? I found a study in the most unusual of places.
Because, I looked it up, and of course, there's like all kinds of studies in the past that are retrospective.
Okay, my study was from 2018. And it was from the JAMA Network, so the Journal of the American Medical Association. Not exactly the most highly anti-vax alternative medicine group, exactly the opposite. And what they found is, in this case control study of 420 children, those with autism spectrum disorder were exposed to greater mean depth of ultrasonic penetration during the first and second trimesters contained with typically developing children, and during the first trimester compared with developingly delayed children. No association between the number of scans or duration of ultrasound exposure and later autism spectrum was found. In other words, it was the depth of ultrasonographic penetration. Say that a bunch. Ultrasonographic penetration.
No kidding.
Baking your baby's brain for the nation. Yeah. So
lovely. Yeah, I'm looking at this one too.
And so then the meaning, this is how they interpreted it in the abstract. Increased depth of prenatal ultrasonographic penetration may be associated with perturbations in fetal neuronal cortical migration and later autism spectrum disorder. This correlation, again, not causation, deserves further study. And we have heard in all of the medical freedom stuff, in all of the alternative medicine, integrative medicine, I have heard essentially jack squat about prenatal ultrasound.
Right.
So it's easy to blame the vaccines. And I think there's, pretty good evidence as far as the aluminum adjuvants and whatnot that, that has some effect on neurodevelopment in certain kids. But then the problem is, and this is what we've always said about autism, it's clearly multifactorial, right? So there was that one family where all 3 of their kids got a vaccine, and literally within hours they were profoundly mentally disabled, right? So clearly they had a genetic diathesis, a genetic predisposition to whatever was in those vaccines that flicked the switches and caused them to regress, right? But again, it's like aviation. We got this pounded into our heads in skydiving. It's a chain of events that causes the ultimate outcome. So is it your mother was a little sketchy and they were screening you for fetal alcohol syndrome, and you got baked with a ton of ultrasounds, plus you got a ton of vaccines, plus you had a genetic problem, plus your mother had a little Jack Daniels problem. Like there's a I get really nervous. Like when you get into studying this stuff, like you have to be very wary of people that are like, it's this thing. Okay, well it might be, but it might be that thing plus 5 other things.
Well, and then we talked about this earlier. So a lot of the studies from the 80s and 90s with what they used for technology back, ultrasonography tech back then is different now because the frequency is different. Now they can do the whole 3D imaging.
Which has got to be boatloads more ultrasound energy.
And wasn't it the American Academy of Pediatrics or Obstetrics recommended not doing that and having high frequency ultrasound just to have the digital images of your kids just for fun because they don't know about the risk from that. But then this study from 2023 looked at exactly what you did, and they found no correlation or any change in incidence. So it's one of those things where I still, it's good to keep studying it and looking at it, but I don't know. I'm thinking if you're doing it on a tiny little infant, it's not just its brain. I mean, it's its whole body getting vibrated and nuked, right? Compared to when they're using it in the brain, directed specifically with the frequency at that part of the brain for the decreased cravings. So you would think it would have not just autism effects on a baby, but all kinds of effects if it's getting vibrated.
Yeah, but the other thing is, and this is what drives me nuts, it's the arrogance in medicine and in the tech world that we assume everything's safe before we have a damn clue on whether it's safe or not.
True.
So let's get the pictures of the foot, the shoe fitting X-rays. So there is a shoe fitting X-ray machine from like the 1940s and 50s. My brother's old enough that he remembers going to the shoe store and shoving it's a fluoroscope, for God's sake.
I remember seeing
you stand in there, you shove your feet into the thing. I think we have another picture of look. So the little girl's standing there, right, with her body pressed against this, and her ovaries getting absolutely Hiroshima'd, right? They're Hiroshiming her gonads.
What?
So that you can make sure that the shoes fit. You know how you know a shoes fit? You put the frickin' shoes on and you walk around the store 2 or 3 times and it's like, yeah, my little toe on the right side hurts like hell. I think I need a half size bigger. I don't need a frickin' X-ray machine. But because technology sells and because we're such dopes, we assume that, it must be safe. It's like, like even MRI. Like MRI is probably one of the safest modalities there is for imaging. And it may even be helpful, right? Because the neuroimaging with MRI and then people's depression gets better for a week or whatever it is. But still, it's just
never happened to me.
It's just like, okay, well, we'll put you in this giant magnet. We'll charge the magnet so much that the subatomic particles inside your brain are moved and then snapped back into where their normal orbitals are, and nothing can possibly go wrong.
Can I use that as an excuse for when I can't remember words and things?
Yeah, it's the MRI.
It's the MRI.
No, it was the fact that your mother smoked. Got to go back to original sin. No, so to me, like when I look at this stuff, it's like you have to question everything. Like even the shit that we do all the time. And the thing is, like ultrasound, prenatal ultrasound is a very close thing to my heart. I am still the medical director of a crisis pregnancy center in Oregon. And we use ultrasound as an absolute ministerial tool from God.
Right.
You see these crisis young women, they come in, they have a crisis pregnancy from a one-night stand when they were drunk on their ass, and you do the ultrasound and they see that beating heart and they start to weep, and they are, like, I'm gonna get choked up, they are instantly a mother. They are transformed in the span of a minute and a half when they see the reality of their mistake, but they realize there is a miracle growing inside them. Mm-hmm. The ultrasound allows us to do that. But at the same time, we should still have the balls to question how much of this we should be doing.
Correct.
You know, and now you go to a mall and it's like, oh, you're pregnant. Let's do a 3D ultrasound and get a picture of your baby flipping you off before he's a teenager. Look, little Johnny flipped me off when he was like pre-born. He was an asshole from birth. Before birth, he was an asshole. Like, the arrogance of, science and whatever, it's just crazy.
It's true. That's true.
It's just crazy. It's equally as crazy as the people like, if it's natural, it's better. Well, death is natural. Cholera is natural. Gonorrhea is natural. There's, not having air conditioning and living in South Florida with no mosquito spray.
That's natural.
That's natural. No, I do not want natural most of the time.
It's true, right?
Right? Like, no one would live here. There's 22 million people in Florida. And until, you look where the Americans live now, like the desert Southwest, the South, and Florida, and all the uninhabitable
places, exactly.
Like, it's damn near uninhabitable in the summer if you didn't have air conditioning. Like, who the hell would live in Phoenix where it's 125 degrees?
Well, I guess I wouldn't have lived in northern Canada where it's 40 below in the winter, right?
Right, but heat's easy. Heat's easy because you can burn stuff and make heat.
It's easier to get warm and put layers on than it is to cool off. I do agree.
No, and heat, we're going to get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. Heat is way dangerous.
Yes. Heat kills.
Cold kills, but heat kills very quickly.
Yes. Way more
quickly.
Very,
very quickly.
Well, cold exposure.
Yeah,
Nothing's just as horrific as watching 1923?
Oh, in 1923 when she freezes to death in the...
They come across the plains and they all got...
Or 1883 is when they came across the plains.
Yes.
Yeah, 1923 is when she froze to death in the car.
Yes. Oh, you gave it away now that people haven't watched it yet.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if there's a show you haven't watched that's 5 years old.
I don't think it's 5 years old, but anyway.
It's pretty damn close.
I'm almost ready to throw this on you for totally wrecking it.
I have a giant Buc-ee's cup filled with vodka and lemonade.
Okay, so what are you? It's a vodka and lemonade, and what's
I
the
put
name
some
of that?
sparkling strawberry in there. It's delicious.
Oh, a little strawberry
and you know what?
to represent Wimbledon.
A couple of these drinks. No, strawberries are not Wimbledon. Clotted cream is Wimbledon.
Are you sure?
Strawberries is the U.S. Open. Look it up, I dare you.
Okay.
Woman.
While he is
Woman, I dare you.
berating me, I will look it up.
Okay.
What is
4th of July is the #1 ER visits of the year. ER visits go up 21%, 91,000 total ER visits across the United States on July 4th. 45,000 of them are injuries.
Of course.
Do you know what the #1 non-lethal injury developer is?
#1 non-lethal injury on the 4th of July. Well, I'm thinking like fireworks.
It is. And it's largely burns, like not blowing, right. Because you know what July 3rd is? July 3rd is
yes,
the
I
day.
do.
July 3rd is the day, the last day when some people will wake up with 10 fingers. That's the truth.
I haven't,
in memory.
I should text it to Kevin really quick.
In memory of all those people.
I have a picture of that.
That will not have 10 fingers.
I have a picture of that. Well, you should have told me this is what you were going to talk about.
What's #2? So #1.
I have a great X-ray of that.
#1 for injuries is fireworks. #2 is
heat stroke or heat exhaustion.
Stroke or heat exhaustion. #3.
Food poisoning.
Alcohol.
Oh, yes. Alcohol intoxication and then food poisoning.
Nope. Food poisoning isn't on the list.
Really?
No. The next is grilling or cooking / campfires because people get drunk and burn themselves. And then the last is water and traffic
accidents.
Drowning and near drowning is ridiculously high over the 4th of July. But what kills people? On July 4th, what killed? Like, so
Heat
there's
stroke.
that's number 3. Number 1 is traffic accidents.
Yeah, that makes
Largely
sense.
moved by impaired driving. So people get drunk and drive into each other, or boating, where they fall off a boat and they're drunk and they.
That makes sense.
Drowning is number 2.
Oh.
Heat illness is number 3, and fireworks, from a lethality perspective, is still in the top 4, but it's the last. But heat illness, and this is what drives me crazy. Dehydration, unless you are profoundly dehydrated, doesn't kill people. It makes you feel crappy, and then you get really, really, really. What happens when you get dehydrated? What's the first thing?
You drink.
Why? Because you're really thirsty. So unless you have an impaired, jacked up thirst mechanism, you're going to get really, really thirsty and be very motivated to drink before you're dehydrated to the point of lethality. Heat is not like that. Heat sneaks up, bites you on the ass, you pass out, and you die. And we're terrible at cooling ourselves. Like, I thought dogs were bad at cooling themselves. Dogs are not. They're actually quite efficient.
Yes, because they pant, they
because
sweat
they
through their
pant,
paws.
and they have a trachea. Like, their size of their trachea, their windpipe, compared to the total volume of dog, is so gigantic that as long as you have a dog that has an open airway and can pant, like a retriever. I mean, maybe a pug or a bulldog would have a problem because they got the jacked up face. But if they can pant, they are literally blowing hot air out of their lungs. Their lungs are this massive heat radiator, and if they can pant, their heat tolerance is actually profound.
Oh yeah.
Right? Where humans, we have to sweat, so we have to have air moving over the sweat on our skin to remove heat. So if you have no moving air, or the air is significantly warmer than your skin, you have virtually no convective loss, and you just bake and die.
Correct. What about cats?
So
I thought of all those poor cats. Those poor cats in fur at the Hemingway house were just slayed up.
If you get dizzy and feel crappy or nauseated or whatever when it's hot and you feel hot, the key is not drinking a bunch of water because it's just going to make you sick. You got to get cold, like cold shower with a fan.
Go walk in a freezer at the food section of the store. I remember a friend of mine did that during the Hood to Coast race, and they just got overheated. So stopped, walked into like a grocery store, and literally sat on the edge of the cheese aisle and cooled off.
Yeah, remember when we had a kid. It was unseasonably hot in Oregon. It was like 95 degrees, and it was the first football,
Oh, I remember that
and
football
game. And the kid passed out.
Well,
And they're like, I said, call the ambulance right now. Get all of his clothes off. Get him wet, and get a fan. And they're like, really? I said, yes, 100%. The ambulance guys come, and they're like, well, we got to get an IV in him because he's dehydrated. I said, no, he's not dehydrated, and he's not going to die if he is dehydrated. He's hot. Shove an anal probe up his ass, get a temperature, get him in the back of the air-conditioned unit, get a fan on him, and get him to the hospital. And they're like, what do you mean?
I know. I was like,
well, yeah, because you work in Oregon where it's never hot. Like, this is what kills people.
Meanwhile, he's still laying there with his helmet on his head. I'm like, get that thing off. Get him out of the sun.
It was unbelievable.
Just let him lay there, putting all these ice packs kind of on him. And that happened also at some of our kids' track meets, because they would start doing September, I should say, cross-country. It's hot. It was always so hot the first week back to school. I don't know what happened, but after this September long weekend, it got so hot.
The first 2 weeks,
and they're out there doing their 5K, 3 miles, and they're just dropping, and it was the same thing. Make them drink, and I'm like, just get them.
They should have damn near a freezer truck at every single high school when they start football practice.
We just need an ice cream truck to come around. Absolutely.
You could literally put them. You could throw them into the 25-degree freezer truck with the fan and save someone's life.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about.
Maybe we'll sponsor it.
So get this. I found this. Well, they're talking about 4th of July because you said food hazards, food poisoning was very common. But listen to this. There's an entire page, of course, on the CDC prevention section about food-related hazards related to barbecue and food-related safety, of everything from hygiene and cutting your chicken up and but there's this whole section on the accidental ingestion of small metallic wires inadvertently detached from grill brushes.
Really?
And these wires that have a tendency to hide in meat, actually, guess who consumes the most of these, men or women?
Women.
No, it's actually men. Men commonly need treatment more than women. And they think it's because, I forget where they're trying to speculate why. Well, my thing is that usually it's guys that are grilling, so they're probably taste testing the meat. I don't know, I'm not going to surmise that men eat more meat than women, but they eat bigger portions, but they also tend to do the grilling, so I'm thinking that's probably why. But isn't that bizarre? I'm like...
So what does it do? Like, do people like end up with perfed bowels, or what happens?
Oh, heck yeah. And then they... says men more commonly need the treatment like endoscopy.
From grill brushes.
And it can include surgery for swallowed grill brushes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a new one to me.
This ER doc speculated he thought it was because men don't tend to choose their food adequately.
They don't chew their food adequately?
Correct. I think it's because men are doing the grilling.
Well, and they're
eating bigger portions.
Yeah, it's like you're eating a 6-ounce steak and I'm eating a 12-ounce steak. You have double the risk.
And then also, you also eat those stupid hot dogs that are just disgusting and nasty.
Well, at least I don't eat 96 of them like Joey Jaw's chestnut.
Let's not even go there.
Oh,
so
May just gags. I make her watch it every year.
We should have put up
look at that.
A warning, vomit warning for this
that's
picture.
That's a firework that blew a guy's hand up.
Yes, that image I had to send to our producer to put up. That is a firework injury gone bad. So
that's a big firework. That's like an M80
Roman candle.
Nah, Roman candle won't do that because the Roman candle shoots.
True,
out.
but if it
doesn't blow up.
If it just blows up in your hand, like that is pretty bad. So if you don't want your hand to look like a stump like that, be very careful. Yeah. Okay, so I found some funny Canada Day stories. I have to include our friends in Canada. Of course, they have the same kind of stuff, same kind of rating of accidents and
except you can't
injuries.
buy any fireworks in Canada because they're communists. So there's no, like at least here it's like, it's American, right? Let's get wasted and blow shit up. Like that's how we celebrate.
Well, exactly.
Let's get wasted and blow shit up.
Well, here's one. The backyard fireworks misfire, which apparently is a Canadian summer viral story that keeps making the rounds every year. Is about a backyard pyro enthusiast who decided to launch Roman candles without a clear escape route. And they accidentally set their own patio furniture on fire, scorched their pants, and then a trip to the ER with burns to their junk.
But
it reminds me of the time someone in our family set off fireworks on our wooden front deck to impress his parents and caught the mugo pine that I had so perfectly coiffed into this Japanese-shaped bush. And we had
It was the Japanese inferno.
We had the Moses burning bush of fire on our deck, and we were lucky that
there was a voice coming from that burning bush, and it was not the voice of God.
It was the
what the hell are you doing?
It was Courtney.
That was like
Courtney LaPlante was
the,
channeled into my throat. If you don't know who that is, you'll have to listen to another episode.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Get this. Following a few Caesars, and Caesars are Canadian cocktails. That's Clamato and a vodka mixed together because that's a.
But we must digress. I make the best Caesar in the world, I figured it out when I was at Sturgis one year, and my Canadian boys brought all this Clamato juice, and then they have their cucumber vodka that they like, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna blow these guys' minds. Because they're used to just mixing it like Clamato juice and vodka, which is fine. So you do that, you add a little spice, and then you do two things. You put olive brine in there, like it's a martini, and then you get pepperoncinis, and you put pepperoncini brine in as well. And you mix all that together, and their minds were blown. They're like, what did you do? Ancient Chinese secret, huh? Well, no.
It all just sounds like gack to me, like yuck.
Oh, no,
I don't like it. I
should have brought that. If we could have
American Caesars, Canadian Caesars.
No. American. No.
Bloody Marys.
A Bloody Mary is different than a Caesar. A Caesar is Clamato juice and.
No, I don't like it. I just like my vodka. Neat.
So there was a Canadian
Anyway.
comedy
Can I finish?
group. 1 second. Canadian comedy group called Wayne and Schuster. There was 2 guys, and they did this recreation of the Shakespeare play, Caesar, Julius Caesar or whatever. And he goes to the bar and he says, "I'll have a bloody marvelous." And they said, "What's that?" And he goes, "Well, it's a Bloody Mary without any tomato juice." And they said, "Well, that's just vodka." He goes, "I know. It's bloody marvelous."
And I would say, it sure is. I agree. Okay, well, so following the few Caesars, 2 men were spotted aggressively battling for the last folding chair at a park. You know those folding chairs we used to have with the web? Remember those? Crisscross webbing. Does anybody remember that? Do those still exist? Those are Canadian lawn chairs for you. And so they're fighting for the last folding chair in a park during an Ottawa community gathering. The fight ended not with punches, but in pure Canadian style, with them both profusely apologizing to each other and agreeing to share the chair.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Can you give me a lap dance, please? Like, I'm a little lonely because my wife moved to the United States because American guy.
That's right. Get this. A visitor once attempted to pull over on the Trans-Canada Highway to pet a large, fluffy horse.
That was
on the
moose.
Side of the road, only to realize too late it was correct. The moose calmly claimed the driver's bumper for a snack, leaving the tour stranded with a wrecked car and a very bizarre insurance claim.
Moose
for sure.
are 2,000 pounds. Deer that we run over with regularity are what, like 200 pounds?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you think of what a deer can do? Moose are very, very tall. So you knock the legs out of them, and then they hit your car at 60 miles an hour, and it's a 2,000 pound. Moose are very dangerous.
Very, very heavy.
I think
like
in
elk.
Newfoundland, you can the Newfies can correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's more moose in Newfoundland than
people.
humans.
Yeah, I think you said that. Okay, well, we were talking about, since we got into Canada, fun facts and stuff. Like, listen to this. Of course, all of our friends know, and people that get to know us, like, we have some very strange words, traditions, weird jokes. And let's talk about food. So I asked you what Canadians eat 55% more, or eat 55% more of than Americans.
Head cheese.
Good guess.
I'm going with head cheese.
I'll give you 2 more.
And if people don't know what head cheese is,
I
will explain.
You said poutine.
Yes.
And it's not that. Well, that would be 100% more, because how many Americans eat poutine?
Oh, lots do now. Crullers.
No, it's Kraft macaroni and cheese. Well, we call
51% more.
55%.
Wow.
Not to mention, Canadians love ketchup chips.
Well,
Poutine, of course.
the Canadians that were here 7,000 years ago love ketchup
and
chips.
clam juice.
If you get my...
and clam juice.
Are you saying
and then dill.
Holy shit, are you saying Canadians eat 51% more clam?
And then dill. I'm changing. I'm not even responding. Dill in everything.
51% more clam?
Dill dip, dill chips, dill
No, dill dip was a
seasoning.
kid I went to high school with.
Dill vodka is like all the rage up there.
Yeah. Dill Dip's a kid I went to high school with. What's her name? My name is Dill Dip. I am going to be a neurosurgeon. There was a kid that sat in front of me in history class, and his name was Greek Ball.
What?
Greek Ball. Yes.
For real.
Yeah. And if you search him on the interwebs, he changed his name to Greg.
I'm sure he's.
Because apparently Greek Ball.
So anyway, I should feel like sharing this on our Substack. Just kind of fun talking about all the weird Canadian things, but I won't talk about all the food, like Tim Hortons and all of our goodness. Get this, there's a couple of weird Canadian laws that you might break accidentally or on purpose and not even know it. I did not know these existed. I have to double check to see that these are still in existence, but it says that number 1 is that it's illegal to pay in too many coins. So we have $1 bills or $2 bills. We have loonies and toonies, and you carry around this sack of coins that is like the weight of a ball and chain because it's so
Oh no!
heavy.
If you fall into a river with Canadian coins in your pocket,
drown.
you're going to drown.
It's like a life hazard. And so you're shoveling out all these things.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
However, they don't want you to pay, they want you to use 5s and 10s instead of like gobs and gobs of coins.
Yeah, but
I don't know how many is too many.
They have $2 coins and $1 coins, but they don't want you to pay in coins.
So it apparently, well, look it. It says it's you can't pay over $5 in nickels, and the limit for loonies is $25. So you can't go like people. Remember I had those garage sales or put things on the porch, and they'd show up and they'd send me like 300 dimes to pay for this thing. Well, you can't use like more than $25 worth of loonies to pay for anything. So you go to a restaurant.
So a yard sale, can you call the police?
I would love to call the police.
It's like, hey, she's trying to buy this. She's trying to buy this book from me with 300 loonies.
There you go.
For this first edition.
Okay, law number 2 that you must never break: you cannot rip a Band-Aid off in public.
Well, they'll just give you MAID if you do that. They'll MAID you.
Forget being drunk in public. Don't rip that Band-Aid off. And then, of course, a fun Canada Day activity would be a scavenger hunt for a penny. And you know why?
Why?
Because they don't have pennies up there anymore.
Oh.
Yes.
They got rid of pennies.
Yeah, they got rid of pennies anyway.
Wow. Really?
And maybe you could just, do something else like maple syrup.
Scavenger hunt for a penny.
Pulling or something.
In other words, Jewish Canada Day.
Go pull some maple syrup out of a tree.
Oh my God. Tucker Carlson's going to be so proud of me.
Anyway, lots of bizarre things from our homeland. In the meantime, we should do
Cheers.
a toast.
There's May's volume of liquor compared to mine.
This is all one needs. I am on the wagon most of the time.
Oh, mostly on the wagon.
Mostly on the wagon. Tim is stumbling behind the wagon all the time. No, I should say.
It's good exercise. Chasing the wagon.
You're chasing the wagon.
Freaking amazing exercise.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Cheers to everybody.
Be safe. Keep all your fingers and your toes. And most importantly, the most powerful thing that you can keep during these holiday times is common sense.
Amen to that. See y'all next time.
Stay BS free.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more, and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible. We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.